Barefoot shoes. Once seen as five-fingered foot gloves only worn by the brave, now become a common staple in many enthusiast wardrobes. Why would anyone wear barefoot shoes? Well, I guess the best place to start is with, why did I start wearing barefoot shoes? I've always suffered from niggling injuries like shoulder and knee pain. I'm a pretty active guy, and years of hiking, biking, running, snowboarding, and you name it, have taken its toll, and phantom knee pain is something I kind of just believed that I had to deal with. It got so bad to the point that whenever I went for a run or a strenuous hike, I almost kind of got used to it, and after living in Canada for a few years, we thought it was finally time to go home. So we caught our flights and had a little stopover in Bali. You know, it's just right there, so we thought, you know, why not? While sunbathing and enjoying ourselves, a kind of pandemic broke out. I don't know if you've heard of it, and it kind of basically meant our flights kept getting cancelled. So my 3 months in Bali eventually became 7 months. I know what you're thinking, poor me, and I know the pandemic had its toll on all of us. So during this time, I pretty much lived in flip-flops or bare feet. I mean, it's plus 30 degrees. I didn't wear any shoes. I didn't really think anything of it. I mean, I was just in Bali. So it finally came time to catch our flight home. And I remember putting my shoes on for the first time and thinking, whoa, what the hell? I thought either my feet had grown or they'd swollen. I remember having a picture taken with my taxi driver, super nice dude. And I was thinking, wow, my feet hurt so much. I remember walking through the airport and I had to keep taking them off. And it's like the first time, you know, when you're going through airport security, that I was actually like happy that they were telling me to take my shoes off. It's like, yes, please take them off. And yeah, I made it back home. I got home and yeah, it was summer in the UK, and it's actually a really good summer, not like the summer we're having right now. So I pretty much just ended up back in flip-flops and we travelled around again. Once again, forgot completely all about wearing shoes until it came around midsummer, winter time. It started to rain a bit and I thought I'm gonna have to start wearing shoes again. So I pulled out my old trusty trainers, wore them for about 5 minutes and thought my feet hurt, something's happened to these trainers, I'm gonna have to go and get a new pair of trainers. So we went around all the shops, I tried on lots and lots of different shoes, couldn't really find any that seemed to fit comfortable, but in the end I was like, it's just me being weird, haven't worn shoes for a while, picked a pair of shoes, and yeah, that was good to go. And then we started going on a hike, which is the main reason why I bought the shoes, and after about 5-10 minutes I literally couldn't walk because my feet hurt so much. I was literally so confused. I didn't really even think about the barefoot thing or the fact that I haven't really worn shoes for almost a year now. And I was just like, shoes don't work with me. But yeah, I didn't really look into it for some reason. It seems wild, but yeah, I just didn't think much about it. I was just like, this is really strange that I can't find shoes to fit my feet. And then a few weeks later, I went for a run with my friend, and whenever I needed to wear shoes, I kind of just put them on and gritted my teeth. Yeah, so I put my shoes on to go for a run with my friend. My feet really hurt, and at the end of the run, my patellar bursitis had reappeared again. And I was explaining to my friend, I was like, every time I wear shoes it hurts and it always flares up my patellar bursitis. And then he introduced me to barefoot shoes, and the rest is history. The purpose of that story is to say my transition to barefoot shoes was fairly unconventional, and the moment I slid on the barefoot shoes, I knew it was a match made in heaven. I was Cinderella, and my prince had arrived with a minimalist zero-drop wide toe box shoe that made me feel like a princess. Or something like that. So in today's video, I'm going to teach you my top tips to transition into barefoot shoes so your feet can return to their natural widespreaded glory. Step 1. Throw away your shoes and move to Bali for 7 months. Joke. Step 1. Find the correct pair for you. If you're anything like me, you probably want to put something on your feet that you like the look of. I know this sounds stupid, but in my 20s, I didn't wear anything other than Vans and Nike, and that's pretty much because I didn't really like the look of anything. I mean, hiking shoes and running shoes are not the best, to say the least. Take running shoes for example. I believe every sneaker company believes that all runners run at night and we need to have fluorescent UV lights attached to our feet. I know this sounds pretty vain, but that's because it is. Looking good makes yourself feel good, and if you've got a pair of shoes that you don't really like the look of and they're kind of making you feel pain, then it's unlikely you're going to stick to them and ride the barefoot shoes out. So I suggest definitely trying to find ones that you like the look of and feel good for you. Thankfully today, brands like Zero and Vivo have produced fairly good looking shoes that are barefoot, so you're pretty much covered. They're not the best looking shoe in my opinion. I'm still waiting on Nike to produce the barefoot Jordans. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they're coming soon. Looks aside, I really think you need to take the time to find the barefoot shoes that fit you the best. Not all barefoot shoes are created equally, and we are all unique, beautiful snowflakes, so our feet are all completely different. For example, Vivobarefoot shoes fit a little bit more narrow than Zero shoes. I like the feel of both of them, but Loretta has a bit of a broader foot and she basically can't get her foot even into the Vivobarefoot shoes. So do your due diligence and look around. Most barefoot shoes you have to get online, so I suggest maybe ordering a couple of pairs and then you can just send back the pairs that you don't like. On researching for this video, I actually stumbled across a blog called baresteps.co.uk, barefoot.co.uk. I'll put it on the screen now, and this lady has done her due diligence. She's tried out so many different types of barefoot shoes and written blogs and articles about them, so I highly suggest checking out that blog. I'll put the link in the comments below so you can check it out if you're interested in doing more research into barefoot shoes. Step 2, take it slow, one step at a time. Pardon the pun. If your feet have adapted to being squashed into ill-fitting shoes for the past 30 years, you can't expect to put on a pair of barefoot shoes and for your problems to simply eradicate instantly. I suggest going barefoot as much as you possibly can. Granted, it might not be possible in all areas of your life, but certainly when you're at home, take your shoes off and walk around barefoot. If you can walk around barefoot at work, I suggest doing that too. And if you have barefoot shoes, I suggest wearing them as much as possible, really taking time to just ease in and getting used to them. As I say, they're gonna feel a little different. You're not gonna have any kind of cushioning under your foot, which is gonna make you walk differently and feel different. So yeah, just take it slow. If you start to feel pain or sore, reduce wearing them for a little while. And just take it nice and slow and steady. Your feet will start to widen and flatten out, and wearing the barefoot shoes will become far more comfortable for you. If you do a lot of miles, either walking or running, your transition may need to be a little more gradual. Specifically as well, if you run with a heel strike, you're pretty much going to have to reteach yourself to run, like running on the balls of your feet. I suggest checking out Exercising for Health. He has lots of videos on barefoot running. I do go running in barefoot myself, but I run like 5 to 10k a couple times a week max. I'm not really an extreme runner, so for me, I didn't feel any difference running those distances in barefoot shoes, but I have heard people who run longer distances having problems transitioning, calf pain, and relearning to run. So if you're a more advanced runner, I really suggest you checking out those websites for people who are more knowledgeable about that kind of area of barefoot shoes. Step 3, massage. So if you think about it, our feet carry us around all day, and what thanks do they get? So for this one, you're just going to need to grab your partner and every evening give each other a 10 to 15 minute foot massage, and all your problems should alleviate from there. What? That's not going to work? Alternatively, massage balls. No, not like that. I'm talking about balls to massage your feet. There are many types of balls you can get, and they're super cheap and effective. All you need to do is apply pressure and the rest takes care of itself. Once you start using the balls, you'll forget how you managed without them. I have several and I pretty much carry them around, one in my rucksack, and if I ever on a walk or we sat down anywhere, I'll literally just pull them out and start massaging my feet. You can also use them to massage your upper back and areas like that, and they're friggin' amazing. And yeah, once you start using a massage ball, you'll thank me. So the number 4 is going to be toe stretching. This is something I've actually only heard of recently, and this is pretty much stretching out your toes. So basically regular shoes kind of like push our toes together and make them more cramped, which is kind of against how they're naturally supposed to be. They're supposed to be naturally wide and spread like this. Because our body's so amazing and adapts to everything we give it, they can kind of become stuck and closed off because of the tight wearing shoes. So basically what we want to do is kind of open them up again. So yeah, these things, you can buy them on Amazon and they pretty much just put them between your toes and they'll just kind of spread out. But I believe they'll just do this when you start wearing the barefoot shoes as well, but this will probably help you transition a little bit quicker. There are many interesting looking options online, but basically anything to help keep your toes spread. You could also use your fingers, and you can also find toe stretching exercises online. Step number 5, and probably the most important one, is going to be going all in. Unless you're doing lots of miles like I talked about previously, you're going to want to go all in on barefoot shoes because it's going to be the best way you transition. I know it sounds obvious, but you're pretty much just going to want to wear only barefoot shoes. I've spoken to several people who have had trouble transitioning to barefoot shoes, and we're like, oh, okay, what's the problem? They're like, oh yeah, I wear them every now and again, and they kind of give me pain, but they wear the barefoot shoes occasionally, but then they wear their running shoes when they go running, and then they wear their work shoes in work, and it's like, how are your feet going to adapt if you keep giving them all these different types of shoes? Literally just need to commit to just wearing the barefoot shoes and your body will adapt. Granted, there might be a bit of uncomfortable pain, but it is your body just returning back to normal, and unfortunately that is the process you're going to have to take. You're going to have to go all in because once you start wearing barefoot shoes, you really can't go back to not wearing barefoot shoes. I haven't worn regular shoes for a year. As I say throughout the video, I've occasionally had to put shoes on or tried to put shoes on, and I've been in so much pain and agony. And even a couple weeks ago, me and Loretta went for a a walk, and we didn't realize how far it was. We only thought it was going to be a mile. It ended up being quite a few miles, and I was just in flip-flops. And literally after about an hour of walking in my flip-flops, which aren't barefoot, they're just regular flip-flops, I started getting knee pain so bad that I had to take the flip-flops off and start walking barefoot, and the ground was like gravelly and really hurt my feet, but that was better than wearing the flip-flops, which would cause me pain. So my feet have adapted so much to wearing barefoot shoes now that I can't actually wear anything with a heel, or it instantly kind of gives me foot pain. So I guess it's kind of like most health components of life. You can't kind of just wear barefoot shoes, heal your knee pain or your plantar fasciitis pain, and then once it's gone away, go back to your old lifestyle and start wearing regular shoes. Once you start wearing barefoot shoes and you adapt, that's it, you're committed. You are a barefoot shoe head. You will start a YouTube channel and you will start making videos like this about how much you love barefoot shoes. Or maybe not.